First of all, very welcome after lunch. Thank you for being here. My name is Coskun Yorulmaz. I'm a Turkish lawyer, human rights lawyer, and today I have with me Aneta Szarfenberg and Eleni Kardamitsi, and then Aneta here. They will talk about themselves and what they do, maybe more. But I just want to talk to you about maybe set the stage just very briefly. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I'm a lawyer, and I just want to set the stage by talking about a professional and a personal experience that I had regarding hate speech, maybe approximately like 10 years ago in Istanbul. So I was in Istanbul, I was practicing as a lawyer, and I was representing certain schools, private schools. I was a commercial lawyer, and one day I received a call from the client, from the principal, saying, you know, could you come over here, because we have some people at the gate, and we had a planning issue, and they want to demolish this footwalk between two buildings. And I took a couple of my colleagues, younger colleagues, and we rushed to the school. And when I arrived there, to my surprise, I saw two buses of police officers. These are tactical police officers, armed to the teeth, in full gear, and a lot of people from the municipality, local authority. So they were there to demolish this place, this footwalk, and a lot of public as well. So there was a scene there. So I arrived there, and what I found out that, you know, at that time, the Turkish government was cracking down on the Gulen movement, and this school was linked to the Gulen movement, according to them. So just to intimidate the movement, they sent two buses of police officers to this place just to be able to deal with a planning issue. And I was there, and I was just speaking to the head of the police, and I was just telling them, look, this is a school. We have like children from 3 years of age till 18 years of age here, so there's nobody else. And you are coming here with these armed police officers. You shouldn't be doing this, because you will be scaring the kids. And I was just trying, and he was a reasonable man, to his credit, and I was just trying to explain to him. But of course, I was preventing them, the police, from entering the school. I was standing at the gate, and I wasn't intimidated by the police or anything. But one thing I heard scared me. Not from the officials of the local authority, but from the public. This young man, he said, you know, what are you waiting for? To the police officers, what are you waiting for? Why don't you gas them out? Why don't you pepper spray these people? Yeah, and I'm talking about kids here, and that scared me. And I realized later, I thought about this. You know, I reflected upon it. And this guy, probably he was a father himself. Maybe he was a good son. Maybe he was a very good member of the society. But at that moment, he was so moved by hate that he could contemplate, he could ask the police to gas the school. So then I realized this is what what hate speech leads to at a personal level. Then at a professional level, using this hate speech as a facilitator, so to speak. The Turkish government managed to proscribe the Gulen movement as a terrorist organization, and as a result, nearly 1 million people have been prosecuted as terrorists on anti-terror laws, and then more than 300,000 people have been arrested, and more than 100,000 people, these are mind-numbing numbers, were convicted. This could only be done through hate speech, which the Turkish government, starting from late 2013, early 2014, gradually increased. And it used all the media under its control. And first of all, it was just like very gradual, very docile, so to speak. And then finally, in a few months, it was just like, I mean, I hate to pronounce these, but it was just like blood-sucking leeches, like vampires, terrorists, and assassins. So they were setting the scene gradually to facilitate what was going to be, in my opinion, and in independent experts' opinion, is the most intense wave of persecution of people in Turkey in the recent memory. So I just wanted to set the stage by talking about my experience, and I will just leave it to our experts here to talk about how we can address hate speech, how we can prevent it, and how we can address it, stop it from happening, and causing all these personal and maybe criminal implications. So my first speaker here is Aneta Szarfenberg from Maria Żołędziewska University. Sorry. Aneta, the floor is yours.
Thank you, George, very much. Hello, everybody. It's nice to be in such a great audience. I'm from the Maria Żołędziewska University. I'm a researcher and evaluator at the university. I'm a PhD student, and I prepare my dissertation about institutionalization process. But the institutionalization is based on the social local initiative, which is named Living Library or Human Library. Probably some of you have heard. Yes, probably. And I observe such initiative, and I just want to understand how it works. And my interest in this topic started in this. Also, in the short story, I'm not an activist. I cooperate with NGOs, but I am not the person who will think, well, let's go and let's change the world. But I was trying to find the methods who can really impact to the people. I mean, well, when I was evaluating the trainings and I wanted to know what is the result of this training, I have an observation that, that there is some kind of knowledge, but people just participate in some training, but after then I leaving, they have some theoretical knowledge, but their behavior just staying the same. And I started looking for another forms. So I was participating in different kind of trainings, and that way it was the way when I found the Living Library. So I was participating in this training, and even finishing it, I was thinking, it's just something like conversations, something like a short speech. Surely I will not be engaged in this initiative. But then the last day, it was the practice way. So I have an occasion to observe how it really works, because I was one of the volunteers in this event, and I observed the people who are in the conversation and how it really reacts. And then I was just talking to my colleagues, just sharing my story, my experience, that I was participating in some training and how it worked. And then suddenly there was a couple of guys, and they said, wow, it's a great initiative, let's do this. And this is how it started in my case. And then after a few years, because it was 8 years ago, I am still a researcher, so I try to understand how it really works, and that's why how I am interested in the hate speech. And okay, that's how it works this way. Okay, so today I want to share with you my explanation, my understanding, the way how I observed the hate speech when I'm starting from the hate speech. On the first, I will just also explain that I use the short picture, viral picture, probably you know from internet. That if you want to change, you need to change. I mean, everybody should change, not somebody else. This is how the change works. So I want to show just 4 steps of change, and starting from the hate speech. So the first is based on the model, probably you will know it, so it will be just short, few words. Then referring to this theory, I will show in a practical example how it can work. And in additional, but probably when in addition part, it will be a few words if you want, if it will be just the time and the space just to share how the living library works, because probably it will be not so much time for this. I have just a short movie on this topic. So about this theory, probably you know, as I mentioned, this is the hate speech pyramid, which was prepared, analyzed by the American scientist, which is named Gordon Allport, and it shows 5 steps how the hate speech results, how it raises up, starting just from hate speech, from anti-location. So there is active avoidance, and here is also just the humiliating attitudes and approach. Then is discrimination, when we just ban some spaces, some activities to some people. We say somebody, we don't want you here, and this is just this in the middle. Then is physical attack, and then is extermination. In a scientific books, the most popular, I think, example is just a Holocaust during the Second World War. We know how it evaluates and how it ends. But so one could say that it was 10 decades or few decades ago. But such situations still are present in our society. It was not so long time ago in Poland, they were just LGBTQ-free zones. It means that we were it just legalized discrimination to some group, and then it was solved, of course, maybe not of course, but it was, because it's not so obvious, not for everybody. They were also physical attacks, that people, they were attacked in Poland. So different groups or different minorities, they were attacked. It was a German professor was attacked in a tram just because he was speaking German. It was a few years ago in Warsaw. So such situations, they are happens. So we can observe this kind of pyramid, because this is some kind of model, some kind of theoretical construction. So we can use another minorities to take into these different levels, and we can observe how it can raise up. And we can also have a reflection, what is the stage when we are at some moment. So here is the pyramid of gender. I need to keep it in my hand. Okay, so second step, because as I mentioned, so there's 4 steps. So first is just to use some theoretical models, some theoretical explanation. Second one is to understand, when you know the theory. The second one is to understand, just to know how it really works in a fact. So we have here some two ways. That the first moment when you confront, when you are facing in some situations, you feel something. Probably it is fear, it is afraid. This is some kind of scare, or you can feel unsafe in some circumstances. There are some feelings, but probably they are not so conscious because you are too busy to recognize the situation. So thoughts, they are next step. And then they are action because you need to do something, because the situation requires you to do. Even doing nothing is just action. So this is the way how stereotypes appear. If the feelings, if the thoughts, they are unconscious, and if the situation is not so clear for the person who is in the situation, they may bring prejudices, because this is how the stereotypes works. They are just unconscious model, the construction in our brain, that the stereotypes brings prejudices because they build on the awareness, not awareness, afraid. And then the first kind of action, it might be discrimination. And this is now, can we observe that this is just a simple feeling that somebody is afraid. So then, finding ourselves in such situation, we can stop and think, what is the reason of this afraid? What I am afraid in fact about, and who I am? What are the main values for me? What is the proper way of attitude I want to share to the society? And this is just how it is the meaning of understand the situation, that this is the moment that we can do something in our own minds. Second, one more theory for this understanding. It shows us that there is in psychology, social psychology, there is a model of intergroup contact. That one of the most successful way of breaking stereotypes, breaking especially negative stereotypes, is just to have direct contact with another person, with a person who you don't know. And here in this graph, you can observe that there is always the action. The arrows, they shows that there is a move, some kind of move. And you can be in this intergroup contact, or you can be not. I mean, you can be passive or active. There is a plus and minus. Plus when you are active in this intergroup contact, and minus when you are passive, when you don't want to be in this integration. And they are results that if you are not interacting with another groups, with another people, it causes anxiety, and then it causes prejudice. And then if you are, as we can see on the plus, if you are active, if you are going to know another people, it brings you empathy, and then it reduces prejudice. It shows in just this short graph. So they are just models. They help us. They let us to understand how it works. So the third step is, so when we know what is the theoretical model, which is based on the hate speech, when we know how it really works, we can recreate those theoretical model. So the first step, as it was in the Gordon-Allport pyramid, on the first step, it was starting on the hate speech. We have first step, getting to know each other, just to have a conversation, just to know who are the people from another minorities, from another social groups. Another step is just to tolerance. It means that one will avoid just improper behaviors to these minorities. Second step is acceptance, just to giving a space and to giving, I can see you, I can understand, you are the way you are. Fourth step is active support, just to do something to help to another people, to these minority groups. and to be active in this help, just to strengthen them, just to empower them, just to make them feel stronger to fight for their rights just to be a part of the society. Because if they are not any extraordinary parts, they are just a part to live as another people are living. And the last step on this pyramid is impact on social change. Well, probably one could say that, well, it's some idealistic pyramid. Everybody would like to be so, or probably this is just on theory or theoretical model. Well, I was thinking so. But still, I tried to understand and I observed the situation, and in that I found an example. An example is Ireland, 2015. It was Catholic country, and people, the society, have voting, and they changed the constitution and accept legalization for same-sex marriages. And it was possible. It became possible. How it happens? How it was possible? In 2002, it was the first step on social change in Ireland. But then, gay people, they become more visible. They found a lot of support on the society. Step by step, people realize that everybody knows somebody who is LGBT person, somebody's son, daughter, cousin, husband, not husband, sorry. Sometimes husband it might be, because there are some situations. But colleagues in the classes, in the schools, just the people who are in the same society, and they recognize that there is not a misery group, which religious people used to say that it should be abandoned because this is the sin. No, they are just regular people like everybody in the society. This is how the social change it was possible in 2015. Just majority of the society, they voted to change the law. This is the real impact on social change. Okay. And fourth step is just to act, that when you know how it works, when you understand, just do something, just even small step. So this kind of situations, kind of activity, it might be living library, but I was talking too long for previous topics, and then probably after the presentation it will be time if you will be interested in. So I can just only mention that they are scientific proofs that the living library works. This is something that is for me really very important, because I like to know, I like to understand, and I like to know that it really works. So they are just proofs that participating in the living library changes humans' approaches. And this will be the end and the last sentence. As you can see, social change is possible, but it requires the activity of ordinary people like you. Thank you.
The next speaker is doing. So just to remind you again, we are broadcasting this on Twitter, on X, but of course nobody's here. As far as I can see, there are like 150 people attending. So it's a very important topic. I think this is what people see. Eleni, please, let's see.
All right. Good afternoon. I'm Eleni Kardamitsi. I'm co-founder of a Greek NGO. Its name is Hellenic Youth Participation, and I'm also on the board of No Hate Speech Network. That's a European organization. Yeah, super. So that's a European organization that acts against hate speech. I have, so starting a little bit about what Aneta said, actually, I will provide more examples of how we work locally and how we try to fight hate speech through youth involvement. So involving young people in the fight against hate speech is very important, and it's what we have seen that has brought tangible results. And I will start by saying that between 2017 and 2020, there was 80% increase in reported hate crimes across the EU member states. So that's a very, very big number. And also knowing that in 2022, 16% of the population was young people, we thought that maybe we can do something connecting the two. We thought that we can start creating grassroots campaigns supporting young people through their creativity and also the energy that they have for change to create movements that promote tolerance and understanding across the communities. So through our empirical evidence that we don't have any tangible results, but from the experience that we have working with people, the link between the effectiveness of involving young people in proactive measures and the reduction of hate crime is clear, because by engaging young people, we not only address immediate issues, but we have the opportunity to create long-term results, cultural shifts that are towards inclusivity and respect. So I will present both organizations that I am active in and give you some very specific examples of what we do. So the Living Library is one that Aneta introduced, but there are also some others. So the Council of Europe implemented the No Hate Speech youth campaign that was from 2013 to 2017. And the young people that were active into this campaign, once the campaign ended, they wanted to stay active. So young people with activists created the No Hate Speech Network. The idea behind it is to prevent and counter hate speech by connecting and mobilizing individuals and organizations. So what we're trying to do is to empower young people to think critically and act by providing support at the grassroots level, which means that people, everyday people that just see one of our campaigns can connect to it, and then they want to do something, not just share it on social media, but maybe they want to join our activities. So the objectives is to develop activities to create a community across Europe, because the members of the network are across the geographical Europe, and then we want to create support for the activists that work in the field. So we create working groups, which I'm going to explain later, and then through the working groups we want to keep the movement active. And also it's important to learn about the European Parliament work on hate speech. So the activities that we do is the Academy of Activists, so that happens once per year, and it's happening these days actually. That's an online training for young people where they can network, and there are participants from around the world, and they take action against hate speech and for human rights. We implement educational activities, usually through the Council of Europe, that is intercultural seminars, trainings. They have we have study sessions online and offline, and they are youth-led. So the young people come with the idea, and the young people implement the trainings. And there are the working groups that are working into different topics, like human rights education, counter-narratives. They provide their campaigns for the action days, and I'm going to provide some examples. Now I saw I need to use this. So for the Academy of Activists of 2024, the topic is well-being of the activists, and how by safeguarding and providing resilience for the people that work in the field, we can ensure that there is sustainability and resilience in the movement. The next two posters that you can see are two of the posters that were created from the young people to raise awareness, and they were promoted through social media and shared. So this raises awareness, and they were created by them. Then here you can see a moment of the training that we have, and here is a study visit that we had in the European Parliament, where we had the opportunity also to meet members of the Parliament and discuss with them what they're doing on hate speech, how they're now working also with artificial intelligence, and what are their plans on that. Now, in Greece, in the organization that I have co-founded, what we want is to create this link between caring and acting. Because we saw that young people care through the education they receive at school and all the awareness that is built. They are interested, they are sharing, but they're not actually doing something that can bring people together. So we work as a youth incubator, that we support youth-led initiatives that they have local action. Sometimes there are collaborations with other countries, so we work through also the country or Europe, but then what's very important is that they are fully youth-led. So the young people come with the idea, we provide the space, the resources, the connections. Usually they don't need funding to any of the ideas that I'm going to present afterwards. And then we just empower them to implement it. So here are 4 examples of what we are doing. We provide training for a local team of trainers about human rights. And so they use the pyramid that Aneta showed. We explain how hate works and how it needs to be deconstructed. They create their own experiential activities. So then afterwards, the people that follow this training, we support them to create their own initiative. One of them was this year's podcast, that they are going to interview local stakeholders and how they act against hate. They're also going to provide training for teens, because in school, the way young people experience hate through bullying and through especially social media, they don't have the tools to support it, to work against it. So through these trainings that we provide from October to March, the young people receive some tools, and then they know what to do. And then we also have some open events, because it's really interesting. Usually the people that come to us, because we promote the opportunity through social media, and then young people come. The people that come are usually from this gray area, where they feel that everybody's aware, everybody knows that they should support human rights, they don't understand why hate crimes happen. And then through the open events, we have the opportunity to work in the street with people that are just passing by. And these are the activities that bring most awareness to our team of how important it is to do this job. Because in the podcast, we talk with people that are already aware of hate and how it works. For the teen teams, it's already the young people that are interested in learning how to work against hate speech. But in the open event, it's just people that are passing by. And a lot of times, it's so interesting to see that they feel that there is no hate, that everybody has the same opportunities. So then trying to raise their awareness, it's very interesting for us and for the young people. Now, Hate Trackers into Action is a new project that we're working on, and it uses Web 3.0 technology. That's a new field. that we are trying to raise the digital skills of the young people and how they can use Web 3.0 to fight against hate. And this project is co-funded by the European Union, and it allows us to work with 4 different countries to see like where is the limit of freedom of speech and which opportunities young people can have to use this platform to fight against hate. So here we have some examples of our work. So with the young people, we join conferences. That's what you can see in the bottom. There are some trainings. They create their own posters. We don't want them to do something that is very big. We want simple, everyday activities that they can create, and they can see results on the people that participate. And they can create also a local network, not only people that are agree with them through social media, but having actual faces of people that work with them for 4 or 5 months. So they become friends, they create their own networks, afterwards they create their own initiatives that is different. For example, at the bottom right, this is an initiative that started through hate speech and then it went into gender. So they're working specifically on hate speech that's connected to women and how this affects their well-being, their everyday well-being. So, yeah, this is all from me.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
Okay, and last but not least, Anna.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to talk to you about hate speech on social media, documentation, reporting, advocacy. I'm a member of the Never Again Association, and let me tell you a few words about our activity. Never Again was established in Poland in 1996, and our mission, that's how I would call it, is to counteract racism, xenophobia, and discrimination. We for years, one of our main objective was to break the silence and raise awareness of the problem of xenophobia, anti-Semitism, neo-fascism in contemporary Poland. That was not an easy task to talk with media. And with other people, that we have a problem of racist violence in Poland. We have been trying to build a movement, broad and inclusive movement against racism. Most of our co-workers are volunteers. Some of them spent almost 30 years collaborating with Never Again. And we try to document hate, but also it's like the other side of the coin. We try to promote respect for diversity, show diversity as a value. A few words about the Brown Book. It's the unique publication in Poland. It's a kind of chronicle of hate incidents, examples of hate crimes and hate speech. We have been carrying out this publication for almost 30 years. We published 3 printed books, and we publish also PDF on our website, social media. Some of the editions were thematic. For example, we published a report about the xenophobia in the context of coronavirus, or about the prejudices against refugees from Ukraine. And in this publication, we are fully aware that we can only document some part of hate crime and hate speech that occurs in Poland. And there were some moments that we were able to publish everything we know. Since the middle of 2015, we had to choose, because the scale of hate crimes increased dramatically because of hysteria, I would say, around the issue of refugee crisis. It was used by politicians, and we still deal with what happened 90 years ago. It's obvious for us how hate speech leads to hate crime. Today, I would like to tell you about the SafeNet project that we are involved in. And the full name is Monitoring and Reporting for Safer Online Environments. There are 21 partners. All of them are members of the International Network Against Cyber Hate, INAC, including Never Again. And what we do in the frame of this project, we report hate speech that is published on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, the three most popular social media platforms in Poland. And we wait for the decision, for any feedback. Replies, no feedback, decisions of removals or not removal. And we gather this data. I will show it to you in a moment. The aim of this project is to reduce spreading hate speech, lies without food, and there are information from some NGOs that around 60 people have already died in this Polish-Belarusian forest, and it's also because the strictly law and almost nothing has changed after the government changed. And a few days ago, Polish famous film director Agnieszka Holland talked about this, that she had hope that these people, there will be humanitarian attitude towards refugees there, but nothing has changed. Some more numbers. Removal rate, we report contents both ways, as regular users using our private accounts. And here you can see Facebook, after our report, Facebook removed about 15% of content, Twitter 8%, YouTube 5%. It means that more than 70% it's still there. So if someone reports some hateful content to social media platform in Poland, probably it will be not deleted. You can almost be sure they will not delete it. When we report as regular users, it was not removed. We escalate the content. It means we report it through our official Never Again Association profiles. And there is one good number here. After the escalation, Facebook removed almost 70% of the content. Yeah, it's not bad, but Twitter removed 11%, YouTube 3%. Never Again has trusted flagger status. We are trusted partner, let's say, and organization that is involved in counteracting against hate speech. And even though the content was almost not removed by social media platforms, we had personal contact with the representatives. So to be honest, their rules are just on the papers. These numbers exactly show that these platforms, they don't enforce existing regulations. Few example, maybe first one from Facebook. We reported post, it was written, "Gas the Jews," and Facebook replied, "We use a combination of technology and human reviewers to process reports and identify content that goes against our community standards. In this case, we did not remove the content you reported." Why? No one knows. Guess the Jews. We escalate this post, and you can see the answer. We have reviewed your report. It unfortunately isn't clear to us that any of the reported content violates Facebook community standards. I must repeat that Facebook has the best, let's say, in quote, the best numbers when it comes, and the best results when it comes how platforms react to hateful content in Poland. YouTube. Most of you know Grzegorz Braun, MP, former MP of the far-right Confederation Party. I'm sorry, he in December in Polish Parliament, he disrupted a religious ceremony. He used a fire extinguisher to extinguish a candle lit on the occasion of the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah, and then physically attacked a Jewish woman who was one of the participants of the ceremony. For months, he has been using social media profiles to glorify his violent anti-Semitic attack. And we reported, as Trusted Flagger, many videos from his channel. And after we publish a report about Grzegorz Braun anti-Semitic actions and anti-Semitic hate speech, YouTube contacted us, and they deleted 11 videos from Braun's channel. According to their rules, we were sure that they would delete his account, because YouTube has this regulation, 3 strike systems. It means if you are free.
And probably this is like always like boundaries about freedom, that my freedom ends when your freedom begins. So always when words can hurt and you can recognize that it works this way, it should be just the information that this is just the hate speech and not free speech. That there is we live not as a single people in the society, that there is nobody is a single island in the world. I mean, we as a people, we live in the society. So we need to accept this fact, and we need to know what does it mean in a fact, that we are not alone. Nobody lives alone, because we participate in the heritage of another generations of the people who gave us the knowledge, probably, I don't know, the electricity. Who knows how it really works in a fact? I guess that nobody in this room, but everybody uses here. So this is just the simple example how we participate in the society. So in the social issues, it works the same, that we need to remember that we are not alone.
Hi, my name is Ruth. I'm from OSCE ODIHR's hate crime team. Thanks so much for the presentations. It's great to hear about all the work that you're doing. That was obviously one of the biggest questions that we're dealing with, you know, in terms of hate crime and hate speech. I would point you towards our publication, which is going to be released in November, where we're going to look into more detail at the intersection of hate crime and criminalised hate speech. Obviously, any kind of speech that is criminalised has to be also looked at under other rights, which include freedom of expression, which is also what you're talking about. So it's a really interesting question as well. I had another question for Anna. Thanks so much for all the work that you do monitoring everything that's happening in Poland. We do include your reports in our civil society reporting as well. And thanks for the statistics on how you are working with the social media companies. I'm just interested in a little bit more detail as well about your cooperation with the social media companies, and what works well and what doesn't work well. Obviously, you've got for Facebook a high level of removal after that escalation. And I'm wondering, does some of that depend on personal contacts that you've made in terms of the companies and the contact points that you've got in Poland? Or are they working according, well, they're not always obviously working according to their policy. The trusted flagger status is in the European Union. as part of the Digital Services Act. So yeah, I mean, that works in terms of a mechanism. But on a more personal level, I was more interested in how that cooperation functions.
Okay, thank you. I believe the highest number of removed hateful cases by Facebook, it's not because of any personal contact. We participated in the meeting with Facebook representatives, but I would say that their mechanism and their cooperation with trusted flaggers just is better than when it comes to Facebook and YouTube. That is the answer. They have maybe they have much more willings than Twitter, and we have also good experiences with YouTube because after our reports and information from Never Again, YouTube deleted two very big far-right channels. In 2022, they removed a channel that was entitled, the name of it was W Realu 24, in Real 24, and they have more than 500,000 of subscribers, so it was a big channel. And for a few years, we have been trying to convince YouTube that almost every podcast contains hate speech, and that was true. And finally, we sent them report with only selected cases. This report was had more than 20 pages. Our volunteers translated into English. Polish, some of the main Polish media describe it because we also send it to some journalists. And finally, YouTube deleted it, and it was constantly, because this channel was banned from time to time, but they have never returned to YouTube. They have now their own website, but you cannot even compare how many people watch their films now and in the past. And at the beginning of 2023, we published another report about another far-right YouTube channel, National Media Narodowe, and the owner of this channel was Robert Bąkiewicz, in Poland, a far-right activist, main organizer of the so-called Independence March organized on 11th of November in Warsaw, when the old city is destroyed and full of far-right activists. And there is far-right march, the biggest one in Europe. So he was for years the main organizer of it, and many of his organizations, not one, received funds from the Polish government, Ministry of Culture, and so it was not easy to ask YouTube to delete the channel that was funded by Polish government. But we documented again examples of hateful podcasts that was published there. In the same time, Bąkiewicz he received money to support some refugees from Ukraine that he hosted. I don't know nothing more about it, but he received money for that, and his channel was releasing anti-Ukrainian propaganda materials, accusing Ukrainians that they received everything for free in Poland, and they are dangerous people, like the ancestors from the past, and for sure one day they will kill us, like in Volhynia in 1933-34. That was general message that we documented. The most difficult issue is with Twitter. Some people may had hoped that after he visited Auschwitz at the beginning of this year, and he was moved, and his visit was published because he had some problems with publishing anti-Semitic tweets himself. So he spectacularly visited Auschwitz with his son, and he participated in a conference and talked about the anti-Semitism, how dangerous it is, and nothing has changed. You can publish on Twitter almost everything you want to without any reaction. And in our report, we reported as regular user and escalated more than 600 cases, and less than 10% of them were removed. And we had, I would say, the most often personal contact with Twitter representatives, but so far without results. We even sent them links to the hateful, most often anti-Semitic content published by common users and by also far-right activists in Poland. They removed nothing. We meet from time to time, and I know they have read our report and they reacted on that. But you know, we are open to co-work with Twitter. But what is lack is the willing of again enforce their own regulations. Twitter on its platform, has policy on hateful conduct, and I quote: "We are committed to combating abuse motivated by hatred, prejudice, or intolerance, particularly abuse that seeks to silence the voices of those who have been historically marginalized." Okay, it's written, but it's just on the paper, nothing more.
We overshot our time, but
last question.
yeah, maybe we can get another questions.
Just a short question. After I have a remark for our colleague here. Iulian Stoian is my name. I'm from Bucharest, Romania, the National Agency for the Roma, governmental agency dealing with the Roma inclusion. My first observation would be that the freedom of speech is not an absolute right. It's subject of limitation, and in some legal frameworks, having an apology of the war crimes or the or denying the Holocaust and stuff like this are limited by the law. So the right, the collision between these two rights, freedom of expression and not the collision, but exerting this right the fullest is subject to limitation. So this is the limit. When your right of freedom, the free speech, is stretched to the point where my rights are affected, or it's a basic democracy. No, because I heard these days in various side events lots of appeal to right of freedom expression, which is totally wrong understood, and it's quite wrong, not that well, not harmonizable. But the question, coming back to the question, sorry, I was. My question is that you're working with the social media companies, and obviously you're monitoring and hate speech and cyber hate on internet. Do you have, or do you make use of any referral mechanism for the hate crimes, cyber hate crimes in Poland?
I'm not sure if I understand. You are asking about what mechanism?
If there is any mechanism in place of referral to the law enforcers of such cases of cyber hate, and if you are doing this type of work as strategic litigation in these particular cases, which are...
The law in Poland forbids to propagate fascism, racism, anti-Semitism. So yeah, we have this law, and I would say it's quite good, but like it's the not only case the social media platforms, but also institutions. It's just on the papers. No, it's too often. It's just on the papers. So there are some people prosecuted because of they published hate speech, but it's like a drop in an ocean. for what you can find in the internet in Poland and anywhere else. But yes, we have this legal frame to that users who publish it, they should have some consequences, and it's possible to prosecute them. But like in hate speech and in other cases in real life, it's not often enough, the law is not obeyed enough.
And I thank our speakers here, our experts, and I thank you for being here with us today. So thank you very much indeed. Thanks a lot.